200 horses of man and machine. They're full wide. Green flag, showtime. The Knoxville Nationals are green.
You may think Knoxville is just another racetrack. If these walls could talk, they would tell you incredible moments that have happened on these hallowed grounds. This is the greatest place in dirt track racing. This is the track where you can become a legend in 47 laps.
Where else would you rather be than right here, right now?
Drivers have been dominant here, from the King's 12, Donnie's 11 including 5 straight, Doug Wolfgang's Soup Run, and intense battles like when Jason Johnson shocked the world. Sometimes a driver can even lead all the laps, like Kyle Larson did last year. But others come down to the checkered flag, like when Patrick Spangler coasted across the line as the winner, or when Kyle Moonen beat out a slide job. But first, in order to get to the checkers, you have to earn your spot. Throughout the next 3 nights, drivers will try to qualify their way into the granddaddy of them all in honor of Mike Westbrook and the Steve King Foundation. Welcome to Knoxville.
Oh baby, it's like Christmas in July, because it is Christmas in July. The biggest week of the year for the Coast to Coast Racing League, the Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals. And we begin with qualifying night number 1, brought to you by Malcolm's Mills Mill Writing. It's the granddaddy of them all. In the National Sprint Car capital of the world, Knoxville Raceway, and in turn number 2 lies the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame, the official title sponsor of the Knoxville Nationals, and we welcome you to the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum pre-race show. And we're coming to you live from turn number 2, the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, Marty Sakala alongside Zach Chavry. We're glad you could join with us for the first night of 4 historic days. We cannot wait. Shaggy, a special time once again. I'm excited for it, man. What about you?
Yeah, man, a lot on the line tonight. You want to go out here right early and set a good qualifying time down just in case you have some bad luck and you can earn some points. We know how big of a deal the points are going to be there for the last guaranteed positions.
Absolutely. It's just like the Knoxville Nationals, how everything goes down here. Using the Knoxville Nationals point system, we'll have qualifying beginning today. Drivers that don't qualify today, they'll be with us tomorrow. Wednesday will be Hard Knocks, and then, of course, Thursday is Soup Night. So we're very excited to see how things go down. Last 3 coast-to-coast Racing League Knoxville Nationals we've had in honor of the Steve King Foundation have just been incredible. Last year, it was Blake Chapman that took the lead from Chad Griggs throughout the race. Patrick Spangler stole it with a last lap pass while running out of fuel. 2 years ago, or I'm sorry, was it 2 years ago? No, 3 years ago, Kyle Moonen took it over Lane Snook in the final laps of things. But man, we're excited for this week, that's for sure. And we begin things off with one of our provisionals on the line. It's volunteer and first responders night. Not volunteer, that's tomorrow night. Veterans and first responders night. Not a lot of drivers with us, of course, but of course, not all of our drivers are veterans or first responders, but this will determine one of the provisionals into the show. So we will have our first driver in by the end of this feature. It will be just qualifying and a feature for them, and then will be our normal qualifying night number 1. Again, let us know who you're rooting for in the chat as we are moments away from getting things going here. BT Media and Diavalos both checking in, excited for tonight. And yes, we know you are as well for sure here. Of course, every year, go ahead, Zach.
I was going to say, Marty, too, you talked a little bit about the provisional and, a guy like Patrick Spangler in here, you got to think, he's got to be the favorite to win, but hold on. He might not need this provisional. He might race his way in here, so every battle on the track matters. Second, third, it's you got to battle for everything in this race. You may need that provisional.
Yeah, everyone has to battle. Every spot matters for sure. Of course, every year the Coast to Coast Racing Network Knoxville Nationals always benefits the Steve King Foundation, and this year two drivers we're focused on that are getting funded thanks to the Steve King Foundation. Angelique Bell and Henry Rogers, will talk about them throughout the night. Angelique was involved in a 410 sprint car accident that resulted in a fire, led to inhalation injuries, damaging her throat, voice box, and lungs. And thanks to the Steve King Foundation, has been able to help pay for all of the outcomes of all the funds that have been needed for hospital bills, medical bills, recovery, etc. Injuries to her lungs and voice box have an estimated 2 to 3 month heal time. May need surgery down the road. Henry Rogers, involved in an outlaw cart accident in Oklahoma that knocked a fuel line off the motor, burst into flames, sustaining 2nd and 3rd degree burns to his right arm and thigh, back of his left calf and thigh, and a minor burn to the face. Tuesday, June 9th, had skin graft surgery, and the rest of it's pretty much been pain management, wound management, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and if everything is good, be discharged from the hospital actually tomorrow to begin outpatient care, and expected to be back in a cart by October. So again, we'll be thinking about both of them throughout the week. And I believe it was last year, the payment we made to the Steve King Foundation was in the thousands. It was one of the best charity races that Roger Craig and the Coast to Coast Racing League family have ever put on, Zach.
Yeah, and no pressure, like we always say, but man, a lot of drivers like to give those wins back, and it is really neat to see the giving community we've got around here. They're just willing to go throw some money out to go race for the week and, donate money to the Steve King Foundation. Such a good cause. You've talked about the guys they have helped. The main one on my mind is that Brody Sims, and just all they've done for the guys. I can't help but love it, and this is a great way to show support.
$1,800 was presented to Danette at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in memory of Mike Westbrook. I was there alonghand to present the check. Zach, I know you'll be there this season to be with the Coast to Coast gang in Knoxville. It's going to be a great time in a couple of weeks, that's for sure. So, all the sponsors, by the way, we have for this event will be in the bottom right-hand corner. So those including Malcolm's Mills Mill Riding, along with Training Wheels Racing, Victory Fuel join us as well. Appreciate them for their support. A big partner in sprint car racing and the Swindell team. Here are the times right now from our Vets and First Responders race. Andy Patton currently the quickest at a 16:001. We call him the General. Bob DeGood is second. The Captain Gary Taylor third. Mark Gilbert fourth. And the Brood to Beast Jeff Barker rounds out the top five. We should be getting set for qualifying in just a moment. There's a look at the Rib Shack. And I tell you what, Zach, if you have never been to Knoxville, you want a good place for food, you got to go to the Rib Shack for barbecue. Out of this world good, maybe better than the barbecue I've had here.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of things. Definitely can't wait to try it one of these days, that's for sure. But, I'll tell you, a little insider. I know we call him the Brewerton Beast, but I ran a little spa with Jeff Barker this weekend. He was a teammate of mine. We finished in fifth. He did a great job. Found out this weekend in the wee hours of the night that he used to be a tank commander. So, a little insight there on Jeffrey Barker.
As qualifying begins here, 5 minutes to put up as a quick time as possible. We'll watch the General here, Andy Patton. Of course, the driver's at the bottom of your screen here with qualifying mode turned on. Green means they're working on their best lap. Purple means they are working on the quickest lap in qualifying. Yellow means they are slow. Of course, all the times will pop up here on your screen. Andy Patton will be the one to set the bar first. Off for turn number 4, Andy Patton sets it. A 16:838. Bob DeGood looking pretty good on lap 1 as well. 16:94. Quickest of anyone, though, in sector number 2. Steve Maurer third at a 16:99. Gary Taylor moves up to the third position. Bob DeGood, though, looking really good. Quickest in sector 1, off in sector 2, but it's quick time at a 16:834. 0.03 of a second for Bob DeGood. How about that for a lap time?
Yeah, and then look who just took the pole.
Gary Taylor just stole it at a 16:813. Jeff Barker to the top on lap 1 at a 16:810, but Patrick Spangler takes it right away by a 10th and 3/4 at a 16:635.
And you got to think that 39 is going to be quick all night. He's going to be that carrot dangled out in front of these guys. But like I said earlier, they got to race hard for P2. That could be everything.
So the high side banger, Patrick Spangler, as we like to call him, is the quickest here. 16:635 in qualifying. And that's going to do it here for time trials. Everyone has taken 2 laps. We will get set for our Vets and First Responders feature in just a moment. As we get set to go here for more action. Again, let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. We thank you for joining us here on night 1 of qualifying for the Knoxville Nationals. We'll get everything set to go here in just a matter of moments. Of course, a lot of again, as I mentioned, a lot of partners with us here for Vets and First for night number for throughout the night. Obviously, tonight we mentioned brought to you by Malcolm's Mills Mill Riding. Tomorrow night we'll be with you on the Slide Job Racing Network and Coast to Coast Racing Network. That will be brought to you by the entire Westbrook family. Wednesday night, Shaggy's got you for Hard Knocks. That will be brought to you by Dylan Westbrook Racing. And then Thursday night, our final brought to you by the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. A lot of good. I mentioned the Rib Shack, one of the great places to go in Knoxville for food and stuff like that. Across the street, I know, Zach, the big after party will be at Dingus later tonight.
Yeah, I remember I saw Brandon Dittmer. He was writing in our little driver's chat for the insiders. He expects to have a wadded up sprint car in the front of the parking lot. So if you see a broken down sprint car there tonight, that's probably Brandon Dittmer.
All right, field is lined up here for our vets and first responders provisional. Let's meet the field and give you your starting lineup. The high side banger, Patrick Spangler on pole position, the 39. Next to him, the brute to beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. Row number 2, the captain, Gary Taylor in the 34, and Mark Gilbert, he's in car number 76. Row number 3, Bob D. Good in car number 7, and next to him, the general, Andy Patton in the number 87. Rounding out the grid for tonight, Steve Maurer in the 888.
Now, not sure why. Maybe he wants a little practice, but Patrick Spangler getting an EOL here, so this is going to be interesting here.
I think Spangler wants to have a little bit of fun.
And, you know, more power to him. And we call him the high side banger. He knows how to get around. But sometimes there, if you're starting on the front row, don't look a gift horse in the mouth there. You don't want to get too cocky. He maybe had a spot locked up, so he may come back and regret that.
This feature 25 laps. Winner takes a spot in the Knoxville Nationals feature. A lot of provisionals throughout the week. We've got this one. Tomorrow night we'll have our volunteer provisional, those that help admin, broadcast, etc. They'll be a part of that. I believe we are going to do as well another provisional that will be auctioned off. Yes, a P27 provisional will be auctioned off with all proceeds to the Steve King Foundation for those that can't make it in. All right, our pace truck is in. Gary Taylor, Jeff Barker will bring us to the green flag for heat race number 1. Time to get it on.
Gary Taylor pretty conservative through 1 and 2, and look who's ripping the high side. Jeff Barker taking the lead going down the backstretch.
The brute to beast, Gary Taylor, though, sensitive with a slide job. The two nearly touch. The captain hanging on to it as it's Barker that leads lap 1. Mark Gilbert had to back off the throttle for just a moment. And here comes Patrick Spangler. Try to make a run at it underneath Steve Maurer. Contact, though. Hard to the wall, Maurer. And up on his side he goes.
Yeah, and with where he ended up in the infield, no caution here is.
And now we'll go yellow. I wonder if that was a yellow thrown by admins.
Yeah, I've got the cheat sheet up. It definitely was. So the admin's on the horse tonight, able to do the right thing, and now Steve Maurer's got a chance to get back out there.
Again, a look at what happened. Maurer just came down to Spangler, and man, what a lick head onto the outside retaining wall. And let me tell you something, Maurer has been a man that's been known for taking a lot of wild rides here in Knoxville in the past.
Yeah, he's used to those bumpy rides being out there in the farms, is Maurer. So, I mean, he's got that farm management company, I believe, but he doesn't need to end up over the fence here. He can keep it on the track tonight.
In that Maurer Farm Management AAA, the official sponsor of our Retreads 55 Plus division that you see on Tuesday nights.
And, you know, you got to think right now, if you're Jeff Barker, Marty, this is probably the last thing you wanted. You were able to get out front a little bit. Those guys behind you were racy. It was going to be much harder for Patrick Spangler to get through. Now the field bunches back up, and he's got to restart to try to pick 1 or 2 off here for free.
This will be a double file restart as well. Our first yellow flying on lap number 2.
Like I say, I ran Spa this weekend with Jeff, and Jeff was really looking forward to this race here. He talked about, you know, putting in time there on Sunday, was going to go work on the setup, and this guy has put work in, and with that good qualifying time, not too far off of Patrick Spangler. We know that's impressive. He may have a piece of machinery that can advance into the show tonight. Not through this race, but through the qualifiers.
Well, we get ready to come back to green. Let's talk about Mike Westbrook, the uncle and dedicated crew member for sprint car driver Dylan Westbrook, who drives the 47X up north. Passion for racing, unwavering support for Dylan made him an integral part of the racing community. Tragically, he passed away from a heart attack at age 45. Gone too soon. Missed forever. All right, we're back to the green flag, and that last lap, I don't know, Gary Taylor was out in front, Jeff Barker, I'm not sure. They were the front row, but Gary's got a huge head of steam on Barker and Gilbert.
It was Jeff Barker out front. I'm going to be surprised if there's not a black flag thrown at Gary. That's going to be a tough break, as he had a pretty quick car, but you just got to be a little bit more aware on the starts.
So that's something to keep in mind here, but the Burlington Beast all over the tail tank of the captain for the race lead into turn number 3. Barker goes to make the move. Can he put her out front to the point off the corner? Yes, he can. Barker leads.
Yeah, the Burlington Beast back out front, but look behind him, that 39 trying to make it 3 wide in 1 and 2. He thought best of it and lifted out from underneath. Bob the Good not giving him much room there, running the middle.
Obviously, Patrick Spangler, a lot of time to work with here in this feature, as I think Taylor and Gilbert just had quite a pleasantry exchange there for just a moment. Taylor looking for the second spot on Gilbert off for 2 as he takes it away. Spangler, meanwhile, looking for that third position on Gilbert as Taylor gets sideways, 3 wide off the corner. Everybody hanging on except for Gary Taylor upside down.
Yeah, big wreck for Gary Taylor. No caution yet, but I imagine it's going to come over as he's on his roof in 1 and 2. There it comes.
So the captain crashes hard. As our second yellow flag of the night flies.
And I know he got some luck there, but Patrick Spangler entered turn 3 and 4 under Bob DeGood. He passed Bob DeGood, Mark Gilbert, and Gary Taylor in 1 corner through 3 and 4.
He had the 3-for-1 discount. That's something I don't think you can find at Kmart. That's something you can probably find at the Dollar Tree.
Yeah, Dollar Tree for sure. That's a candy that's about to go expired deal.
Here's a look at what happened to Gary. Just that slight contact with Gilbert found him on his noggin. He was digging, that's for sure. There it was. Car just freaked out and on for the ride.
Yeah, as that track starts to slicken up coming off of 4, going down the straightaway especially, you got to watch how heavy you are on the throttle. It's going to start to kick sideways on you, and we're starting to see that happen to some of the drivers, so it's going to be about throttle control this second half of the feature. Lights are off, though, this time, and Barker's going to choose the high side again, so Spangler's got to go to the bottom, but that looks like where he's been comfortable, to be honest.
All right, man.
Lights are coming back on. I think it's to get Gary back on the racetrack. So we'll rack them and stack them back up.
And that's just that much more time Jeff Barker has to think about what Patrick Spangler is going to try and do to him to get around. Jeff just wants this thing to get rolling. You want to shake the nerves off here.
You have to find a way to catch him sleeping.
It looks like, Marty, we just got ourselves a visitor here. We got the Spider Monkey with us tonight.
Brandon Dittmer with us. What's up, BD?
Oh, not much, you.
Nothing much. Getting ready to go for qualifying night 1?
Absolutely.
How's she feeling?
She's feeling.
All right, we're back to the green flag here. 8 laps complete.
And that 39 glued to the bottom through 1 and 2 already has the run on Barker. Barker's going to regret choosing that high side.
Absolutely. Barker tried to defend the high side for the high side banger. Didn't pay off well as Spangler takes the lead. Gilbert third to good fourth. Patton fifth. General looks underneath after starting back in the sixth position. Can't make the spot change work. Maurer and Taylor in the back. The two salty dogs going at it. In front of them, nearly 3 wide off for turn 4, Brandon.
I'm not in the session.
Oh, you're not in the session? That's right.
Yeah, and this is where, if you see Barker hugging the bottom here, we talked about this at Spa. I hate to keep bringing that up, but man, it's so relevant. He just gets a free lesson here from Patrick Spangler. He hadn't flirted with that bottom the whole time, but now he gets to see where the 39 was running and experiment a little bit, and this is going to be a huge learning thing for the Jeff Barker.
Absolutely. And we know in the Renegades, and Brent, I know you could talk a lot more about this, Jeff Barker is up there as one of the key Renegade drivers you have to watch out for. He doesn't have a win yet this season, but, you know, he's been improving throughout his career.
Yeah, he's been right up there running in that top 10 kind of spot, and he's just slowly working his way up, getting better and better. I absolutely love seeing what he's doing, and hopefully he can keep that up.
Let's go to the race for fourth here. Andy Patton challenging Bob DeGood. See if he can take that spot away. Meanwhile, in front of them, Mark Gilbert just got a tad bit sideways trying to run the cushion. The General back downstairs on DeGood for P3. Not yet, but he could take it here, though, Zach.
Yeah, he had room to float it up there, but he's just going to keep it on the bottom. And, you know, Bob DeGood is kind of running that middle line in 3 and 4 and not really allowing room for the slider. But there he goes, throws it in full steam.
So Andy Patton in the Inferno 87 takes it back, but a crisscross move by Bob DeGood to put him back up in a fourth.
Yeah, anything you can do, I can do better, says Bob here. And now Andy's struggling to use the high side. They reverse roles, and Bob's holding his own.
Gotta love hanging out downstairs in Mama's basement. From the back end of Bob DeGood as he tries to pull away from Andy Patton. See if he can, but he opened up the basement for him to come play. But Patton, he's pushing up really bad right now for the looks of it.
Yeah, you know, he entering in behind that 7, you can just see him floating up. It's not significant as much as it is in real life, but he just loses that air on the front nose when he follows that 7 in, and it just slides through the middle of the corner up throughout.
Patrick Spangler, meanwhile, crushing it. 3-second lead on Jeff Barker. We'll see what the 5-lap average holds for us. And there you see, he's the best driver out here right now. Barker and Gilbert, the second best two, battling for the second position. Gilbert trying to close in just a little bit. He was better by a 10th last time by Zach.
Yeah, you know, he may need a little help with a caution. Definitely a little faster here, but we're running out of time as they're getting ready to get 5 to go here. But man, this coveted second spot, this is going to mean a lot. You know, it would be a huge upset if the 39 needed to use this provisional, and the rest of the guys know that. So Mark Gilbert's coming hard here for second.
Taylor and Maurer still racing for the 6th spot. The dogs have been side by side. Taylor trying to defend the bottom and kisses the wall. Almost thought for a moment he was going to bike and go flipping, but doesn't. Meanwhile, Patrick Spangler 3 to go. As Zach mentioned, he would be locked into the show, yes, via provisional. He can get a much better starting spot just by making it in via points throughout the next 2 nights, or being in, I believe, the top 4 of Hard Knocks Wednesday.
Yeah, all of a sudden, man, this battle for P2 is heated up, Marty. Mark Gilbert is right behind the Brewerton Beast.
This could get interesting. Gilbert peaks. May need to get some slipstream here off of Jeff Barker to get it with 1.5 laps to go.
Yeah, you know, I think he peaks low there, almost trying to get Barker to go down there and give up the high side, try to entice him into blocking him. But here he's going to cross over. This is his chance.
What a diamond from Mark Gilbert off for turn 4 as we're on the white flag. Takes away the second position here over Jeff Barker. Meanwhile, into turn number 3, our first driver locked into the Knoxville Nationals is the high side banger, Patrick Spangler. But we watch the race for second off the corner. Mark Gilbert gets it over Jeff Barker. Bob DeGood in 4th, Andy Patton 5th, Steve Maurer 6th, and Gary Taylor 7th. So the vet and first responder, Patrick Spangler, in the Training Wheels Racing number 39, gets it done. He's in the show regardless. We'll park it in front of the Impact 4800 video board. I wish you could put it into actually driving into victory lane here on iRacing, but you can't.
Yes, you can.
Oh, you can?
There is a way. You have to go to the end of pit road, come back, and go through that front fence.
It probably takes a lot of force.
Here, let me try it. I'm sitting in the pits anyways.
All right. So take a look at the results here.
Nope,
Spangler.
just drives right through.
Oh, really?
Just drive right on up there.
All right. Someone's going to have to tell the winner to do that. So, Spangler the winner by 3.7 seconds. Jeff Barker third. Bob DeGood fourth. Andy Patton fifth. Sixth is Steve Maurer. Gary Taylor rounds out the field in seventh. We'll bring in your winner here, Patrick Spangler, to discuss everything. And, Patrick, you're in the show officially. How'd you feel about the car in the initial stages of things?
Silently changed in the background the sprints the last update without telling anybody. So it feels a little bit different. So I wanted to gauge what it was going to act like at here in Knoxville for this week. So hopefully we can carry this over into the next race.
What positives do you take away from the car and the setup?
They can stick the bottom just because it did before, and I just got to get smoother on the bottom to keep up with Blake and them. But hopefully when the track slicks off, still have a strong car.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Just you and the booth boys up there for the awesome broadcast each week and covering this week. Triangles Racing, Roger running the league and putting on this great event each year. All the sponsors, and Dan Uncle back on watching. Velocity Race Designs and Dudex Sim Designs for the wraps. And thank Roger again for putting on the Veterans and First Responders League.
All right, man. We'll let you go. Appreciate what you do. Great job.
Thanks.
And best of luck here in the rest of the night.
Thanks.
So Spangler gets it done. Since second and third are already in the waiting room, we're going to bring them in. Well, let's go to Mark Gilbert here, our second place finisher. Mark, a great pass there at Diamond. And is that something that could help you out throughout the week?
I think so. I'm just I'm learning as I go here because this is I don't run these very often. I'm happy to be out here. It's a super great event and sports great cause. So I'm happy to be here, and that was really fun. And thanks to Jeff for racing me clean there, and it was fun.
What positives do you take away from your car and your setup right now?
Seemed pretty fast, but I got nothing for Spangler.
Yeah. Are you a Patrick Spangler fan now on qualifying night? Because if he automatically makes it in the show, that's your ticket, Mark.
110%. That's what I told Jeff. I said, well, I thought the race was between us because I figured Pat was going to make it. So,
Mark, who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Nitro Speed Shop, everybody over at Venom Racing, RCP Cockpits, and this rig, W Energy Focus Concentration, just get me through this race. Brooks Race Designs for this paint scheme. You guys for the broadcast. The Steve King Foundation. This is going to be a great event. I can't wait to get out there for night one.
All righty. Well, we'll let you go. Great job, and best of luck throughout the week.
Thanks, Marty.
All right. Mark Gilbert finishing second, and we'll go to Jeff Barker, the Brood to Beast, taking third. Jeff, a nice run here for you here. Following Patrick throughout the race once he took the lead, what did you learn possibly from him?
He was gone so far, so fast, I couldn't learn poop. I'm very frustrated right now because I threw everything but the kitchen sink at the car for this race, and I got nothing. I got past at my strongest point. I just got past like I was parked, so I'm not sure what to do now.
What positives, though, do you take away from the car, the setup right now?
I didn't hit the wall.
That is true.
I nailed fuel right on the button because I ran out on the way to victory lane. So there's that.
All right. Well, who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Malcolm's Mills Mill Riding, Coast to Coast Racing League. You guys for broadcasting this. Thanks, Shaggy and Marty, Brandon.
All right. Well, we'll let you go. Thanks for what you do. Great job, and best of luck throughout the week.
All right. Thanks, guys. Hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yes. Jeff Barker, your third place finisher.
So the Vets and First Responders race is done right now. The provisional goes to Patrick Spangler. If he makes it on in, it could go to Mark Gilbert or anyone down below. We'll step aside and go to a commercial break. When we come back, qualifying night number 1. Stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. All right, boys. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we talked about it.
These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
You may think Knoxville is just another racetrack. If these walls could talk, they would tell you incredible moments that have happened on these hallowed grounds. This is the greatest place in dirt track racing. This is the track where you can become a legend in 47 laps.
Where else would you rather be than right here, right now?
Drivers have been dominant here. From the King's 12, Donnie's 11, including 5 straight, Doug Wolfgang's Soup Run, and intense battles like when Jason Johnson shocked the world. Sometimes a driver can even lead all the laps, like Kyle Larson did last year. But others come down to the checkered flag, like when Patrick Spangler coasted across the line as the winner, or when Kyle Moonen beat out a slide job. But first, in order to get to the checkers, you have to earn your spot. Throughout the next 3 nights, drivers will try to qualify their way into the granddaddy of them all in honor of Mike Westbrook and the Steve King Foundation. Welcome to Knoxville.
And we welcome you back here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, moments away from night 1 of qualifying officially kicking off here. And of course, night 1 of qualifying brought to you by our friends at Malcolm's Mills Millwrighting. Welcome you back inside our National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum broadcast booth. Marty Sakala, Zach Chapman, Brandon Dittmer getting set to go here. 28 drivers with us getting ready to go here, Brandon. What is going through all the drivers' mind here, including you, as we get ready to go here?
Just don't mess up qualifying. Qualifying is big, big, big. 200 points to the top spot and goes down by 2 points per position, I want to say.
I believe you're
Can't
correct.
quite remember.
I believe you're correct here.
It is very important. Past years, I haven't qualified well, but I did good in my heat and I did good in my feature. So I started towards the back of the A because that qualifying really nails you in the butt.
Zach Chapman. Go ahead.
So really what you want to do is just make sure you just nail it. And yeah, it's tough to go out kind of last, but you got to kind of figure that line.
I like the shirt, by the way, you got on. I forgot to mention that. Nice shirt. U.S., Australia, do you have Canada on it?
It's just Osmerica.
Gotcha, Osmerica. I love that. We need an Osmerica Day or something like that. So you see the times here on your screen. Chad Griggs is the quickest at a 15:10. Griggs nearly won this race last year, Zach. And, he wants it badly this year after coming close last year.
Yeah, he really does. It was a close run for him. And, I mean, the first step here, like Brandon said, is qualifying. You need to go out and you need to get as close to 200 points here as you can. That's going to be everything.
Yeah, and we see a lot of our regulars here, obviously, with us. But there are some drivers here that we don't see. They're not Coast to Coast Racing League regulars. And a bunch of that you could tell that they don't have a custom number on the left side on your screen. But we're glad they joined us here to support the Steve King Foundation, paying the extra money, making sure their I rating is under 3,000. Drivers like Michael Junk, Tayton Sander, Parker Annis, Ryan Padgett, I believe is how you pronounce it. Great to see them all show up here tonight.
Yeah, it just shows the outreach that the iRacing community has, and they're willing to come together for a good cause when they see one. And this is just another example. I'm sure we're going to have some other guys we're not necessarily familiar with tomorrow night, too. And hopefully some of these guys can make the big show here and make a name for themselves here with the Coast to Coast members.
So we should be beginning here just a moment with our qualifying. Brandon, you are correct, by the way. It's a 2-point difference.
It is also important as well for qualifying as well, because if you get the quick time, you get 200 points towards your scoring at the end of the 2 days of qualifying. And if you win your heat, that's 100 points, and then that goes down by 3 points too.
Yeah, it's just finish. Getting a good qualifying spot and just finishing your heat are going to be two great ways to have a good points total coming into the feature. When you get to that feature, what is it? Just like 30 laps or 25, something like that.
I believe 30 tonight.
25 tonight.
25. Okay.
So you don't got to worry about saving anything. Just push it as hard as you can. Keep it up front, and you'll put yourself in a great spot for Thursday night.
All right, here we go for qualifying here. Drivers, it's an open qualifying session. And so drivers will have a few minutes to put down a lap. And I believe as well, Zach, here, we haven't done this in a while, but we're going to be doing single car qualifying. So you'll see every driver here qualified throughout the night, which is going to be really cool.
Yeah, and there's an art to this. You got to make sure you got enough fuel in the car, because if you're sitting on pit road with the motor running for a long time, you're going to burn up some gas, and you don't want to look like a dummy here qualifying by yourself. So you got to make sure you have enough fuel in the tank here.
Well, here's the other thing as well. You don't want to have to hit that qualifying button way too early. That's the thing. You want to make sure that you hit it as soon as you are called to get out onto the racetrack.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I mean, if these guys have timed it, we've all done it. You can barely get a qualifying run in with the amount of gas you have, or if you run with the minimum. So you want to do the minimum, do exactly what you said. Right when they hear your name called, you want to click that green button and you want to roll out.
Yes, absolutely. So it goes by a random pill draw. And so our first driver, I believe, is making his way onto the racetrack. We're just confirming everything here. So the first driver we should have on track is Corey Denson in car number 91, thanks to the pill draw. So what race control is going to do, they will call your name and then have everyone, and then they will have you on the racetrack and good to go. Pill draw was made using the website random.org and verified 5 times here. So Corey Denson did put his 2 laps up on the board. It just came to us through iRace, and he just set it at a 17.003. So I think we were having a glitch there. Apologies for that.
Yeah, I think what's going to give us troubles here, Marty, is they're in qualifying, but it's in 3 groups. They're not all in the same group, so we're going to have to really pay attention.
That makes sense here. Next driver on the racetrack, Rick Main in the High Noon A&J Custom Creations, number 187. So Corey Denson set the bar at a 17.003. We'll see Rick Main pop up on the bottom of your screen. Quickest of everyone in Sector 1 in his Inferno Motorsports ride. Let's see, he put Sector 2 in the purple. That looks good. Quick time at a 16.671. 16671 for the driver, the 187, Rick Main. He makes his second lap right now. Sector 1 just looks a bit slower. And, of course, each sector broken down by the half of the lap. But Sector 2 quickest, and it's a 16.77. But Rick Main on the top of the charts at a 16.671. Next driver onto the racetrack, one of the key drivers in Rebels action. And the STR Rich DPC Advanced Victory Fuel number 27, that is Chad Griggs. So Chad Griggs getting set to go, and he's underway with his first lap here of qualifying.
And Chad Griggs, he's got to be a guy you think who can go out here and contend for the poles. So we'll have to see what time he puts down here.
First lap here for Griggs. Second quick, 16.97, was slow in Sector 2. Was actually slower than in his warm-up lap. And so as the 227 machine makes his way off of turn number 4, we'll see how this looks. Better in Sector 2, but off in Sector 1. A better lap at a 16.903, but 0.2 off the pace of Rick Main. Confirming the next driver onto the speedway in the Gentleman Jack. Jack Daniels, number 217. It's Gentleman Jack Hit. Jack hit a Renegades driver in coast-to-coast action as he comes for his first time on lap number 1. Not the quickest lap, but where is he scored? Second quick, 16.775, 16775 for Gentleman Jack. One more lap here for Jack Hit. Better in Sector 2. Is this a better lap? It is not. The next driver on the racetrack in car number 051, the Full Throttle Motorsports Expert Insulation Super Dirt Car Series machine. That's Clay Christopherson in the 051. How about the runs he has had this past week here, especially in the modified action we saw Thursday night, Zach?
Yeah, Clay's been he's been a big name ever since he joined. He always finishes up towards that top 5, but now he's making that big jump towards the consistent podium finishes. And I look to see what he has here at Eldora this week. Or Knoxville, excuse me.
Yeah. One start on the season in Renegades competition. It was a 6th after starting 20th. That actually happened last week at Lernerville. First lap time for the 051. Fourth quick, 16.992, 16992 for Christopherson. He's off for the first half of Sector 2 as he makes his way off of turn number 4. Is this a better lap time? We'll have to see. And a 16.994, so just off by a little bit. Next driver out for qualifying in the number 98 machine. This is P Daddy Ryan Padgett. Ryan Padgett in the number 98 would assume he's teammates with Chad Griggs as he's got the STR logo as well as Victory Fuel on his machine.
Well, with a nickname like P Daddy, you're already winning, Marty.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Green here, so not a pole lap for Ryan Padgett. However, though, he is at a 17.012 for P Daddy. As Padgett makes his way off of turn number 4. This is a much better lap for Ryan. Where does he go? Up to third quick. A 16.845, 16845. Next driver on the racetrack, he's in turn number 2 in the U.S. Air Force. Car number 7, it's Bob DeGood. Bob DeGood in the number 7. 8th in Renegades points on the season. Thanks to a pair of top 10s he has recorded.
Yeah, Bob's doing better than me in Renegades? Oh, my.
Best finish on the season is a 9th that came at Kokomo earlier this season. First lap time for Bob DeGood. Goes third quick at a 16.790, 16790 for Bob DeGood. Just saw moments ago in the Veterans and First Responders race. Here comes DeGood off the corner. And could be a better lap. He was better in Sector 2 at the line, 16.829. So a better first lap at 16.79.
Yeah, and he was the first guy to kind of commit to that high side. I think that's going to open some highs for these guys.
Double check on who the next driver is on the racetrack. It's the driver of the Browns Automotive, number 27. This is Michael Junk. Michael Junk in car number 27. First lap time for Junk. Oh, bad at turn number 1. He caught the berm and somehow hung on to it. Not sure if we got the first lap time there on Michael Junk, but this lap time will be pretty slow for him. So Junk's lap 2 times, 17.430, 17430. That is 8th quickest for Michael Junk. Slowest lap we have seen at the moment. Next driver on the racetrack. He is in the Crate Sim Racing, Galen's Homegrown Popcorn, number 51. It's John Short. John Short in the 51. A coincidence, his last name is Short, but It's not proof. Last week he posted on the Coast to Coast Lounge. He was at Eldora for High Limit World of Outlaws week, a part of Kings Royal weekend. He's a pretty tall dude. A lot taller than both Patrick Spangler and Blake Chapman. That's for sure.
And you see Shorty there, lap number 1. He's ripping the lip through 1 and 2. He's going to throw the slider in 3 and 4. So he must think there's some grip there in the middle of 3 and 4, but he likes the high side in 1 and 2.
John Short, 4th in Renegades points on the season. He's 8th on lap 1 at a 17.017, 17017. Best finish of the year for Short, 2nd at the dirt track at Charlotte back on June 17th. As I mentioned earlier, 4th in Renegades points. This is a much better lap for John Short. Quickest in Sector 2. We don't have anything that says quick time. He may have caught the wall, and I think that was the case, Zach.
Yep, that had to be the case because I'm pulling up the iRacing graphics here to trying to give us a little cheat, and he had to have kissed the wall somewhere. iRacing didn't like something.
That's got to be a heartbreak there if you're John Short. Tayton Sander working on his first lap time. We don't have a speed for you at the end of lap 1 as we came in late on his first lap. Tayton Sander in the TSR number 7 machine. We'll check the time here on lap number 2. 4th quick. That's a 16.812, 16812 for Tayton Sander. Not sure if that first lap was better or not. Just checking on our next driver to make their way onto the racetrack, and I believe it's this man in the victory field, 25 Enterprises, number 29, Steven Stewart. And I got to tell you something. That victory field, very good. I had the throttle punch a couple weeks ago. Definitely recommend it. A lot better than the other competitors that have a lightning bolt on them. Anyway, first lap underway here for Steven Stewart. Stewart 10th in Renegades points coming on in.
Well, Victory Fuel's listening. We do have a sponsorship opening for the Booth Boys.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. They actually sponsor Victory Lane here throughout the week. First lap time, 16.998 for Stewart, 16998. Best finish of the year in Renegades for Stewart, a 7th at Oswego a couple weeks ago on July 8th. Second lap time, it could be better in Sector 2. We'll just have to wait. And a 16.979, just barely 7th quick on the charts. Confirming the next driver here onto the racetrack as we hold here. Just want to confirm here, believe it's the driver of the RacingCockpits.com Nitro Speed Shop number 17, which should be Mark Gilbert. After Sander was after Steven Stewart it was Gary Taylor, then Roger Craig, but I don't believe they are racing here tonight. We're just confirming everything, so bear with us if we switch back and forth. And so it is Mark Gilbert that is the next driver on the track here for qualifying. Not sure if Gilbert realizes it, that he is next. In fact, he is actually pulled off and put her back on pit road. So not sure what that was all about. Maybe topping off on the fuel here, Brandon or Zach. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, that was probably a case of him sitting there a little longer than he didn't want to run out of gas and reset the car, and looks like he's getting ready to roll. Not sure why he's coming to a stop.
All right, Gilbert's set. He's good to go.
So, something's up with the qualifying. I was going back and watching some of those runs before. It's starting their first lap as they're exiting the pit, so it's something with iRacing being funky.
That is a very good point you mentioned, because it doesn't show up as him as a negative. You know what I think it may have to do with? Open qualifying. If his car is parked before the start-finish line, that's considered starting a lap, I believe. I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah, that's got to be a goof on iRacing's part, like especially on dirt. That's definitely not the way it should be. That's weird because like when we do it on GT3s, it doesn't do it on GT3s.
And that lap, I believe, did not count because that was past lap number 2 for some reason. So we're just confirming everything here. That time was not show up on Mark Gilbert, which is unfortunate. I'm not sure what happened there. So we'll go to Steven Goldner here next, as he was the next driver to draw. And we know Steven is the next driver to make his way out onto the track for qualifying. There goes Steven. We just had to make sure everything was correct. So here's Steven Goldner in the Velocity Race Design Vanderbilt Racing number 30. Goldner past champion with the Renegades. May limited starts though on the season. Best finish on the year, a third. That came at the dirt track at Charlotte. Here comes Steven off at turn number 4 to put his first lap on the boards. He is in the green, and the lap one time is 6th. 16.901, 16901 for the driver of the number 30. Here comes Goldner across the line. Checkers are out. This could be better. Green in sector 1, off on sector 2. 16994 for Steven Goldner. And the next driver that we'll see hit the racetrack in the dirt track bank, Hammer Down Racing, Got Your 6 Racing Network number 31. That'll be B-Temp, Brandon Templeton. Last Thursday picked up a win in the big block at Lucas Oil Speedway that you saw right here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, as well as Sly Job Racing Network. Here's the thing as well. I just thought of this as well, guys, with Mark Gilbert not being able to post a time. Regardless of what happens, as long as Patrick Spangler gets a better starting spot, Gilbert will be in via provisional no matter what, guys.
Yeah, that's going to be his saving grace. But with Barker not making this event either here, skipping out on it, he was hoping that Mark would race his way in so he could get it. So he's rooting for Mark here tonight.
First lap time for Brandon Templeton, 6th quickest at a 16.859, 16859 for B-Temp. Slower, though, in sector number 1 off the corner. A slower lap for Brandon Templeton. That lap time, a 16.888.
Very consistent 2 laps there. He's going to be tough to deal with as this feature goes on.
So that's
I just started my lap. I was rolling down pit road, so something's definitely wrong with it.
So Brandon Dittmer, the Spider Monkey, on the racetrack. One of our booth boys in the booth you normally see here as, got a little bit sideways there in turn number 1. You know what? I'm going to shut up here just so we can focus.
Yeah, Brandon got a tough draw there. He kisses the wall. I don't think either laps, or it did give him credit for the lap, but I don't know if he's
yeah,
gonna
we'll
get
give him credit. 17.25, 13th quickest. And so now that should put us through to the driver of the number 814 A&J Custom Creations Inferno Motorsports machine of Brad Waite. Just confirming here because it was supposed to be Brad's turn. Yep, now here goes Brad in the M9 machine. Trevor rooting for Patrick Short. GTK02 checking in. Not sure how long we'll be live for here until qualifying night 1 ends. And Gary says, Patrick, the 4K needs a driver for high limit tomorrow for the Silver Cup. That is tomorrow night. So here's Brad Waite working his first lap, pushed up just a little bit. We'll check on his first lap time, and it's second quick, 16.746. 16746 for the driver, 7th, and Renegade points with 3 top 5s and 3 top 10s. He is better in sector number 1. Sector number 2 is orange, so likely won't be a pole lap, but it's a better lap. A 16.713 for B-Rad.
Yeah, showing there's still a lot of speed left in that track. He found it for sure. Somebody may still be able to take this pole away.
So it's great to see this next driver make his way onto the racetrack after coming off some health scares a couple moments ago. And I think he's trying to get the car going, but I think his brake may be locked up. He is in the Salty Dogs race team number 325. It's the man that's one of the co-founders of the Coast to Coast Racing League, Bill Calder. So with Bill having issues, we're going to move on to the driver of the Inferno Motorsports, number 87. It's the General, Andy Patton. From the looks of it. Nope, there goes
Patrick
Bill.
was I was going to say, Patrick was addressing the drivers about the situation that's currently happening. Giving them an option if they want a second lap, they can hold off till tomorrow night and race. Otherwise, they can go for it tonight.
Okay. Brandon giving us the heads up there, so Calder will take his lap, and then we'll move on to the General Andy Patton. Bill loves to race these charity events when he gets the chance to do so. First lap time for Calder goes 17.856, 17.856 for Bill Calder. Second lap time better in sector number 2 and off the mark at a 17.92. Now we move on to the General Andy Patton in the Inferno Motorsports number 87. Andy Patton been racing with us recently in the past few weeks. Sometimes he is on and off, but good to see the General with us here, especially for the Knoxville Nationals. Lap 1 time for Andy goes 10th quick at a 16.97. Off in sector 1 for the General. And a slower lap for Andy Patton. It is a 17.102 on lap number 2. So first lap stands 16.97. Handful of drivers here left to go in qualifying. Should mention, by the way, qualifying brought to you by our friends at Dillon Westbrook Racing. Next driver on the track, the Full Throttle Motorsports, number 32, the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. Morano, our defending Open 358 modified champion on Thursday nights. Races the sprint car in Rebels action on and off here. Morano's first lap time as he goes up to 13th quick at a 17 even, 17.00. Second lap time is slower here as he's in the orange. That lap 2 time, 17.199. So Morano, 13th quickest. So that puts us to the next driver on the racetrack. He's the Maurer Farm Management Flatline Racing Body Salty Dogs Race Team number 888. It's Steve Maurer. Steve Maurer. We should call him Chevy because every time I see him in person or on a Zoom call, he's always wearing a Chevrolet t-shirt.
He just went up in my book.
Maurer, one of the retread drivers we see run on Tuesday nights. Of course, this company, Maurer Farm Management, sponsors the retreads. First lap time for the driver of the 888 as he goes 16th quickest at a 17.20 on lap number 1. Final lap underway here for Maurer across the line. It's better in sector number 2. We'll see if it's better here. Believe it was, but he stays 16th quickest. The next driver on the racetrack, he's in the Maurer Farm Management Flatline Racing Bodies Pitside Podcast Salty Dogs Racing number 75. It's the mayor, Steve Bixler. Steve Bixler, the driver of car number 75. Bixler with 4 starts on the year in Rebels action. His best finish on the season is 7th. That came at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. First lap time here for Bixler at the line. As he goes 16th quickest. Bixler at a 17:12, 17:12. 17:118 that last lap for Bixler. The second lap appears to be just a little off. It's a 17:130 on lap number 2 for the mayor. Eight drivers left. And the next driver we will see here in Dylan Westbrook Racing qualifying, the driver of the All-In Creations. BDR number 78, Jack Clevenger. Jack Clevenger back with us in car number 78. Clevenger with 5 starts on the season in Renegades action. Best finish, a 5th. That came at Williams Grove Speedway on June 10th. Again, Rick Mayne still the quickest. The 16:67 was one of the early drivers to come out in qualifying. Lap number 1 for Jack Clevenger, 16th quickest at a 17:060, 17060 for Jack Clevenger. Better in sector number 1. Looks to improve here in sector 2. When he does, this is a better lap. Does he go up the charts here? Yes, he does to 10th. 16:950 for Jack Clevenger. So Clevenger cracks the top 10. And the next driver we'll see on the racetrack in the Velocity Race Design, Vanderbilt Racing, number 36. It's Barry Goldner. Barry Goldner in car number 36. Renegades regular. Still looking for that first top 10 on the season. Best finish a 13th last week. That came at Lernerville. One of 3 Canadians we will see here tonight. First lap time for Barry, 19th quickest at a 17:245, 17245 for Barry Goldner. Here comes the second lap here for Barry across the line, and it's slower, a 17:42 on lap 2 for Barry Goldner. That puts us with just about 5 drivers left here in qualifying. The next driver on the track we see in the Training Wheels Racing number 39, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler. Patrick Spangler, 2022 Knoxville Nationals champion, on a last lap pass to take the win over John Helms. After Helms ran out of fuel, Spangler actually ran out of fuel, coasted across the start finish line in the number 1 spot.
Yeah, we're about to see if this track has any speed left in it.
First lap for the high side banger is 10th quickest at a 16:947, 16947 for Patrick Spangler. Second in Renegade points coming on in. His best finish on the season, won at Kokomo on June 24th. This could be a better lap for Spangler. We'll have to see here. A 16:938, still 10th on the charts.
Yeah, and you got to wonder, that was a better lap, but I heard that thing sputter going on the front stretch.
Did.
He ran out of gas.
He did, that's for sure, so could have affected him. Next driver we see here in car number 71, this is Garlic, Josh Gerlach. I have never heard someone call themselves Garlic. What a fantastic nickname. I do like garlic as well, especially on chicken wings.
Amen, brother. Parmesan garlic. Oh.
Garlic parm buffalo. Combine the hot sauce with that, it is chef's kiss. First lap time for Josh Gerlach. And he is 18th quickest at a 17.050, 170.50 for Gerlach. I actually had garlic parm wings for dinner on Sunday night. Very good. Second lap time here. A much better lap, up to 14th quick at a 16.990 for the driver of the 071. 3 drivers left here in qualifying. And next driver we'll see on track in the number 2 if he pops in here, Parker Annis. Not sure if he knows that he is coming up next here. Fun fact here about Gerlach that Roger just texted me. He's the grandson of the retired voice of the Knoxville Raceway. Now, I'm trying to remember who that is.
Would have been before Tony Bakoven, so it's been at least 25 years.
Well, he's back. Parker's out there on the track now.
So Parker will only get 1 lap here as Barney waved the green flag already. And it's in the Dusty Speed Shot machine. Here comes Annis off the corner for his lone qualifying lap, and it's 18th quickest, a 17.007, 18.007 for Parker Annis. Leaves us 2 drivers left here in qualifying. And the first driver we'll see in the Super Dirt Car Series 00 Geekers Tacos machine, it's Harold Klump. It'll be Harold Klump and then Sam Bachman rounding out the field, and then we'll go into heat races. Again, Rick Mayne's still the quickest driver. A 16.67. Brad White second, 16.71. Jack Hitt third, 16.78. Bob DeGood fourth, 16.79. Tayton Sander rounds out the top 5 at a 16.81.
Yeah, and we didn't really know how it was going to finish out here, but how big of a deal is it for Bob DeGood to come in P4 there so
That's
far?
awesome.
Qualifying?
Good
That's
for
huge.
Bob. Well, we've seen him have good runs in qualifying recently, whether it be having a fast time near the front or starting first, if not second, thanks to the heat race invert we have in Coast to Coach, which is the top 4 for the lineup for the heat races is inverted. So here's Harold Klump, modified regular we see. Don't think he's really familiar with the sprint cars. He got really loose there in turn number 2, though. Had to catch it. So Klump will need a much better lap, though, that's for sure. He is 25th at a 17.525. 17525 as the car, I think, just sputtered on him. And so he'll forfeit his second lap and stay in 25th. One more driver left to go here in qualifying. He's in the Full Throttle Motorsports Super Dirt Car Series number 107. It's Sam Bachman. Sam Bachman in the 107. As per the Knoxville Raceway point system, we just brought up the invert. Speaking of that, it's the top 8 that will be inverted here tonight.
And, Samuel here, he's another one who he's only going to get 1 lap. So final time here, if he's got anything, he's got to do it now.
So it's going to be Rick Mayne or Sam Bachman. That will be the quickest here in Dylan Westbrook Racing qualifying.
Not sure if the speed's going to be there, but he's smooth.
Needs a purple, though. And it's not going to be a purple. Rick Mayne starts on pole. The lap for Sam Bachman, 20th at a 17.047. So that means that Rick Mayne is tonight's Dylan Westbrook Racing fast timer with a 16.671. Brad White second, 16.713. Jack Hitt is third, 16.775. Bob DeGood is fourth at a 16.790.
Fifth, Tayton Sander at a 16.812. Sixth is Ryan Paget at a 16.845. Brandon Templeton, 7th, 16.859. Stephen Goldner is 8th, 16.901. Chad Griggs, 9th at a 16.903. Rounding out the top 10, Patrick Spangler, 16.938. Jack Clevenger, 11th, 16.950. Andy Patton, 12th, 16.965. 13th is Steven Stewart, 16.979. Josh Gerlach is 14th, 16.990. Clay Christopherson is 15th, 16.992. Anthony Morano is 16th at a 16.999. Corey Denson, 17th, 17.003. Parker Ennis is 18th, 17.007. John Short, 19th, 17.017. Sam Bachman, 20th at a 17.047. As we pop up the rest of the field here in qualifying, Steve Bixler, 21st, 17.118. 22nd, Steve Maurer, 17.201. Barry Goldner, 23rd, 17.245. Brandon Dittmer, 24th, 17.251. Michael Junk, 25th, 17.430. Harold Clump, 26th, 17.525. Bill Calder rounds out the field. Actually, no correction. Bill Calder, 17.856. Mark Gilbert, unfortunately, not able to put up a lap. Drivers are getting 2 minutes to take a quick break here to hit the litter box while we are at it. Check it in here on the chat and in who's watching. Kyle Waite rooting for Black. Sarah rooting for Patrick tonight. Hashtag Team Spangler. Again, we thank you all for joining us here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. And we'll be here throughout the next 3 nights here. Tomorrow night, night number 2 of qualifying, along with our Volunteers night. Wednesday will be Hard Knocks, along with the Pole Shuffle. And then Thursday night, you know it, it's the Soup Night and the Knoxville Nationals Finals, 47 laps to determine our winner. We were there last August, in person. The Booth boys were, along with a scribbled in Zach.
Still a great photo.
Yes, that's still a fantastic photo. I think I still have it here on my phone here. Let me see if I can pop it up.
Oh, thank God we have copies.
No, it's gonna be an odd year. Isaac's not coming. Marty's not coming. I don't know who all is actually coming. I think Roger's planning on coming, along with Bill and Gary. I'm sure those 3 are still coming.
Next year, the plan for me is to be at Eldora, so I'll be there for that.
They'll be at Kings Royal?
As long as World of Outlaws and High Limit are there together. Here we go. Hang on, I got it. Let me switch the scene over. You may think Knoxville is just another racetrack. I forgot I still have the theme song going. There we go. Along with the 72 on it.
Looks exactly like me.
It does.
Ooh, looks like we're getting ready for some racing here, fellas.
Alrighty.
We're in the heats, baby.
Oh, yeah. Heat time set to go here. Heat race number 1 brought to you by Aces Up Sim Sports. As we get set to go with that, here's the starting lineup. Again, top 8 all inverted here throughout the night here. Not like the top 4 that we normally see on a regular coast-to-coast racing league event. Steve Maurer on pole position in the 888. And next to him, it's John Short in the number 51. Row number 2, it's the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. He is in car number 32. Next to him, Steven Stewart in the 29. Row number 3, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39. And next to him, it's B-Temp, Brandon Templeton in the 31. Row number 4, Bob D. Good. He is in the 7. Rick May next to him in the 187. Rounding out the grid for tonight, Michael Junk. He is in car number 27. And Mark Gilbert next to him in the 17. All right, boys, who are you watching out for very closely here?
I think you got to keep an eye out on that 51. I mean, he's got himself a good spot. Didn't qualify that well, but John Short, man, he's got a lot of speed, and he knows he needs the points. He's going to run hard for this one.
Brandon, how about you?
Look out for the high side banger coming out of the inside of row 3. He is not going to waste any time moving up through that field.
Patrick Spangler will not waste any time, that's for sure. I can tell you, you brought up Spangler, you brought up Short. I'm going to keep my eye out here for the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. We know he's very successful in driving anything, especially in a modified. What about in a sprint car? Let's see what he does here. Goon is checking in, said good lap, Tayton. And so we'll be set to go green. Hopefully it's one pace lap, then we'll have the Steve King Foundation pace truck pull on to pit road.
And confirm they did shorten.
Alrighty.
I think I just heard Roger say that cautions are enabled for heats.
Alrighty. So that's going to make things interesting here. Top 4 transfer here to the A main. Everyone else goes down to the B main. If not a C main, as we are green here for our first heat race of the Knoxville Nationals. Steve Maurer comes out with a big advantage here off the corner. Oh, big contact with John Short. That may have done some wing damage possibly on the ride. Short does have wing damage, and through goes the Ant-Man to the lead. A lot of contact as we're 3 by 3 across the line. It's a smorgasbord at turn number 1 here, Brandon.
All over the place, 3 wide.
Oh, there goes Maurer.
Oh,
and the
no.
big one breaks down here in the heat. And Maurer, once again, does not have a wing. Steven Stewart involved. Brandon Templeton, a junkyard in turn 3 on lap number 2. Zach, you could just see that one coming.
Yeah, Steve Maurer got a big run coming out of 2, and I mean, a little contact there going down the backstretch. But you could see it brewing. They were running 3, almost 4 wide, coming out of 4 the previous lap. So something was going to happen.
Look at the wild flap. That's a sprint car that's turned into a midget. Let's go on board with Steven Stewart here, as that was right in front of him. He got damage off of Brandon Templeton, and he even had the quick timer Rick Main on top of him. Let's get a shot here from our drone to show you who may have actually dodged this accident. Patrick Spangler, Mark Gilbert, maybe Bob DeGood. Virtually the only cars to clear that accident. That is that is insane.
Yeah, Mark Gilbert, you know, that's somebody who he's rooting for the guy in front of him because he wants to make it in the show. But, man, up 7 spots, he's doing a darn good job of trying to just race his way in the show. And, you know, the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker, he sees both these guys. He's rooting for both of them here.
So come back to green this time by with Morano out in front. You notice the fuel bar damage he has on the 32. Patrick Spangler, Mark Gilbert, Bob DeGood, each clean in 2nd through 4th. Steven Short on back, all went into repair damage at least. Remember, one quick repair that all the drivers have as we come back to the green flag this time. We've completed 3 laps here in our feature. Next time by, not this time by, but next time by, we'll be halfway.
Oh, we're going green right now here, Marty.
That's why I said it, is here we go. Patrick Spangler looks underneath on Anthony Morano for the race lead. That doesn't work. Mark Gilbert tries to get the good exit off in turn number 2. Bob DeGood, Steven Stewart, John Short 2 for 1 for the final transfer spot. Catches the berm for just a moment. And John Short went shopping at Kmart, that's for sure. And he wants more of a discount, up to 3rd past Mark Gilbert, Zach.
Yeah, you know, he did another one who didn't do well in qualifying, started on the front row. He needs to finish in the top 2. He knows how valuable these points are. And speaking of top 2, look at him battling for the lead.
The high side banger wants a better spot than a provisional. Trying to get past Morano to go out to the front of the field. Oh, big crash, Mark Gilbert. Hard in the wall. Rick Main also collected, and up on his lid is the 017. No yellow yet. We stay under the green flag. Morano still remains out in front. I wonder if they're going to count the lap here before the caution waves, and that's the case. Oh! Brandon Templeton also collected, and Steven Stewart as well. That's extracurricular activity.
Yeah, they hit the upside down car of Mark Gilbert. They didn't see him upside down in 3 and 4. Huge pile up. That's, oh man, that's rough.
That's a big shame. Let's show you what happened here. That was the cause. Gilbert, and then there's Rick Main. And then go on board here with Steven Stewart. You can't see him until now. And just a bullseye impact for Steven Stewart. He's gonna be frustrated by all of this.
Yeah, and you know who else is going to be upset? Rick Main. He used his quick repair under that first wreck there, and you know he got into Mark Gilbert in the original incident, and I'm sure that car's not going to be handling the same. He's going to be really relying on those 200 qualifying points to make the show.
Yeah, Short tried to clear Gilbert. And man, we have seen a lot of violent wrecks here, and it's only night 1 of the Knoxville Nationals here, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we've been seeing them in real life, though, at Eldora. Think of all the violent crashes and similar speeds at Eldora. And, I mean, these places you touch wheels, it can get violent real fast.
Yeah, like, think of Bill Baylog losing the fuel tank.
Yeah, that was wild. Everyone's lucky that there was no fire from that. That could have been a big deal. It shows how well safety has improved.
Brandon, didn't we see that last year in a qualifying session in Knoxville with Gage Polterbeck? He first lost his side panel and then lost the fuel?
Yeah, he had a wing tore right off into his qualifying lap going into 3, and just one of the more violent wrecks I've seen at Knoxville. Something about that Bill Baylog wreck didn't sit right with me. Something wasn't right.
Yeah. We're back to green, white checkered. Winner starts on pole for tonight's 25-lap feature in qualifying night 1.
Rick Main, big move on the 7 of Bob the Good to move up to P4. That's a big deal here, that final transfer spot.
Especially after taking damage, so he did use the quick repair just now. High, wide, and handsome, up to 4th. 1 lap to go here.
Yeah, Patrick searching, and the 32 got a little loose here, but
he's got to run.
It's loose. He's got to throw it in.
Sends it in deep, side by side, in turns number 3 and 4. It's going to be a sprint to the checkered flag. Anthony Morano with the win in Heat 1. Spangler 2nd, Short 3rd, Main in 4th, DeGood 5th, Gilbert 6th, Maurer 7th, Stewart 8th, Templeton 9th.
Tough break for a lot of guys. There are going to be some big names in the B main tonight, fellas.
So your top 4 drivers move on into the show. So we now move on to heat race number 2, which is brought to you by Training Wheels Racing, the official team of Brandon Dittmer, Patrick Spangler, and a bunch of other guys.
Oh, you're just going to leave the rest out?
Hey, I just said the notables. I said the notables. I'll go at Al.
Tyler's well more notable than I am.
Tyler as well, too, yeah. So, all right, here's the lineup for heat race number 2. Barry Goldner lines up on pole position. Next to him, it's Sam Bachman in at the 107. Row number 2, row number 2 was supposed to be Corey Denson in the 91. There he is. Corey Denson set to go next to Garlic Josh Gerlach. Row number 3, Jack Clevenger in the 78. Next to him, Stephen Goldner in the 30. And in row number 4, Tate Sander in the 700. And B-Rad Wait in the 814. Final row, Harold Klump in the 00. Top 4 transfer to tonight's feature. Everyone else goes down to our last chance showdowns. Steve King Foundation Pace Truck on pit road. We're ready for the green flag for heat race number 2. Bachman and Goldner bring us to the start-finish line. Here we go.
Almost had a little kerfuffle there on the start as they were almost 3 wide crossing the line. Goldner with a big run out of 2.
Side by side, and Bachman comes through with the advantage. Gerlach drafting the 007, trying to get through, but look at Stephen Goldner. Diving in turns number 3 and 4. 3 wide, and Stephen Goldner with a 3-for-1 discount with a slider to take the race lead. Holy moly! And they go crazy behind them! Oh my goodness! And Corey Dunson goes through, but who kept it straight though?
Somebody's on their lid.
We
Goldner's
just-
crab walking.
Gerlach.
Yeah, Josh
Oh, no.
Gerlach and Goldner got together. There were two separate incidences. The front two got together, and then Barry Goldner got into someone. There was two wrecks.
Let's show you what happened. This is already starting to become the most insane Knoxville Nationals that we have seen, and it's only night one. You saw Sander and Barry Goldner get together. And then I think it was Brandon that said, we had another incident that broke out. Watch with Steven Goldner. Bachman got sideways as well, and just look at the junkyard. Turn 3 once again is Calamity Corner.
Watching Steven Goldner turn that broken car into the pits was one of the funniest things. It looked like it was moonwalking.
Big contact for Garlic. And you can see that car has turned into crushed Garlic. There you see Steven, how he was crab walking.
So yeah, we've seen it in heats 1 and 2. When, especially at the start of these heats, when you're in a big clump, it's not if will the big one happen. It is when, and you better hope you are in the right spot at the right time, so you are not a part of it.
Especially when you invert the top 8, too.
It makes it extremely frustrating for the guys that qualified really good, because now they're sitting in the back and they just want to go up.
All right, lights are off. The Steve King Foundation pace truck. Gonna go green flag racing this time by 2 laps complete. Bachman the leader, Barry Goldner second, Brad Waite third, Corey Denson fourth, Jack Clevenger fifth, Harold Klump sixth, Stephen Goldner seventh, and Sander eighth, Josh Gerlach a lap down in ninth.
Green, green, green.
Back to the power they go. Waite and Barry Goldner battle for the second position. Final transfer spot. Corey Denson has it. He was the first car to dodge the wreck. Look out. A lot more contact. Taking Sander with the front end off the ground as he hangs onto it. Stephen Goldner back through to the final transfer spot into turn 1, Brandon.
Yeah, Stephen Goldner got right up there on that outside cushion, just pushed it straight around everybody else, and he's going to fly up to third as well. He's looking for more.
Brad Waite, though, looking for the lead, Zach.
Yeah, now looking for a little crossover here with Samuel Bachman, not able to mount momentum, but he's not going to give up that easy.
Halfway home here in heat race number 2. Brad Waite, quickest driver last time by at a 17:07, second quickest. Stephen Goldner at 17:17. Battle for the final transfer spot. Dayton Sander from a wheelie to underneath Corey Denson for the final spot in the feature, guys.
Yeah, the Sander looking to grind.
Oh, you could tell that was going to get ugly.
Oh, big wreck.
And what a flip for Corey Denson, side over side, end over end. He's already getting ready for the Olympics. That was a gymnastics move.
And I will see you at Dingus, Corey. That is unfortunate, buddy.
You could just tell that was going to lead into bad things. Right there. Oh my goodness, look at the cartwheeling. I don't think, and that happened right in front of us, guys, I don't think I've seen anyone cartwheel that high.
So, Brandon, do you have a race chat on? Can you confirm, did he ask for that EOL, or are we given live penalties?
Yes, he did ask for that EOL. Immediately after the contact, he said, I am sorry, I will take an EOL for that.
Yeah, very cool move.
That's
not a cool racing move, but it's nice when you see a guy own up and own up on his mistake like that. So hats off to Tatum.
There's not very many people that I see do that, but the person I see do it the most is Patrick Spangler. He has the biggest conscience of anybody out here. He will take an EOL for getting into somebody that he clearly did not mean to, and he will just like, yep, give me an EOL, I am back.
I'll play the other side of that coin. I think Patrick has fun passing us all again.
He does. He really does. But no, he feels so bad when he takes somebody out. I keep telling him, like, you don't have to do that. He's just like, yeah, but I can't not do it. And I was like, yeah, you got. I get where you're coming from.
Alrighty. So this will be a green-white checkered once again. Again, top 4 drivers make it into the show. Brad Waite leads, Sam Bachman second, Stephen Goldner third, Jack Clevenger fourth, Harold Klum fifth, Josh Gerlach sixth, Barry Goldner seventh, Tayton Sander eighth, Corey Denson out of the race in ninth. He will race in our B main tonight.
And Brad Waite, remember, he qualified second, so this is if he wins this thing, he's almost guaranteed the front row here if he can run a good feature.
Back to the green flag. Waite holds serve. Stephen Goldner once more. Downstairs on Sam Bachman for the second position and makes the pass clean. Jack Clevenger still with the final transfer spot. Goldner actually touched the berm in turn 3, which forced him to have a bad corner as we're on the final lap here.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That cost them all momentum and forced them to go up there and jump the cushion. And now, well, he's going to hold on to P2 as Samuel Bachman had a scary moment.
Bachman in the wall. Gerlach and Klump battle for fifth. Just what Jack Clevenger wants to see. Brad Waite takes the checkers and wins the heat. Second, Stephen Goldner. Third, Sam Bachman. Fourth, Jack Clevenger. Fifth, Josh Gerlach. Club sixth, Sanders seventh. Barry Goldner eighth, and Denson ninth.
Everybody better watch out for that 30 machine in the feature because he was quick.
Heat race number 3 brought to you by Full Throttle Motorsports, another official team of the Coast to Coast Racing League. You'll see in this heat Clay Christopherson, FTM driver. On the pole for Heat 3, the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in car number 83. Next to him, the Mayor, Steve Bixler, in the number 75. Row number 2, it's Parker Annis. Annis in the number 2. Clay Christopherson next to him, he's in the 051. The General, Andy Patton, on row number 3. Next to him, Chad Griggs in the 27. Fourth row tonight, Ryan Padgett in the number 98. Gentleman Jack Hitt next to him in the 217. Final driver on the grid here, Bill Calder in the 325.
Now
right,
we figured out why the Spider Monkey threw qualifying.
Yes, yes, we did.
I planned it all perfectly.
Good luck out there, BD.
Thank you.
You know, that's tough news for everybody else there because we know he struggled in qualifying, but that was just a product of the bad iRacing setup. That 83 out front, he's going to be tough to beat.
Here we go for heat race number 3. Top 4 transfer to the feature. Winner starts inside row number 2. A big stack up as we come to the green flag.
Yeah, not the best start for Stephen Bixler's. Ooh.
Man, how nobody hit him, I don't know.
Yeah, that was A+ wreck avoidances. They're still trying to wreck.
Yeah, they're still wrecking. Bally in a big wreck. Patton up in the air. Chad Griggs also involved. Patton barrel rolling in turns 3 and 4. Clay Christopherson also involved. And so once again, turn 3 is Calamity Corner again. I think they need to open a Waffle House up there.
Huh. Yeah, Andy got run over from behind by P Daddy. Definitely just carried in too much momentum and, man, caused the big one there.
And there goes Patton for a wild ride. Let's go on board with Clay Christopherson. Immediately with front end damage, took her to pit road. Didn't see that one coming, that's for sure. Apparently we had something else too with Jack Hitt possibly. Let's take a look here. Oh no, he was involved in the accident. He was just trying to get her to pit road. And I think actually pulled her to a stop. Either that or actually used the qualifying setup by mistake.
Oh, that's the worst. When you pull off the grid and your spotter tells you low fuel. Oh, that's the worst.
So caution right now on heat race number 3. A lot of good racing going on here. In real life. Obviously last weekend, some of the best sprint car racing I've ever seen, whether it be High Limit, World of Outlaws. Of course, the World of Outlaws this weekend. Shaggy coming to our neck of the woods. Williams Grove Friday and Saturday. And then Weed Sport on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely nice to have the guys back in Pennsylvania. And you know what, Marty? I've got off work, so
You've
they
got
might
the
see me over at the Grove.
You've got the Outlaws against the Posse. We've got the Outlaws against the New Yorkers, and that you never know what's going to happen with New Yorkers because they are really good in sprint car racing, completely underrated. All right, here we go, back to the green flag. Again, this is not lap number 5. This is lap number 2. Waiting for scoring to update, and we are back to yellow. On another barrel roller, that's Chad Griggs in the 27. One of the drivers we said were going to be that was going to be a contender to win the Knoxville Nationals.
Yeah, big thing for Chad, though, able to land on all 4. He doesn't have to tow. He's going to be able to go in quick repair if he didn't already use it in that first accident.
Oh, my, that's a big accident. Got into Bill Calder. Calder was trying to let the field past him, and Griggs just ramped over the top of him.
Chad did have a quick repair left, able to go in. He's pulling back out. So lucky for Chad, able to keep her rolling on the lead lap, and he can see how many he can pick off here with the few amount of laps we got left.
Yeah, Griggs misjudged it. And look at this, too. Even Bill Calder took a wild ride. Even lost the top wing, then somehow gained it back. I still don't like that in iRacing, personally. Don't worry. It's not the league. It's the game that does that.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of posts around the message boards of iRacing with people's wrecks at Spa where they'd go in and hit the wall and lose the front bumper and the GT3s, and it would reappear 15 seconds later going down the straightaway.
So this will put us on lap number 3. Calder, Dittmer, Bixler, and Annis currently your transfer drivers. I'm sorry, Dittmer, Bixler, Annis, and Paget. First driver.
Right now,
go ahead.
Dittmer needs a long green flag run here. That last restart, he was up to 9/10 over Bixler in second. He's been killing him on the restarts. He needs it to stay green here.
Well, let's see what happens here because the top guy to win this heat, which is Chad Griggs, one of the faster drivers we have here, was out of it. And there's actually some more contact with Calder as we're back to green. Bixler and Annis both open up the door for Paget. 3 wide off of turn 2. Nice run for the 2 car off the corner here. Zach trying to find a way to get by, but it's just a roadblock there, and here comes Jack Hitt for the final spot.
Yeah, now Bixler, he's put in a tough spot there. He couldn't go for a crossover because Parker's looking under him. Contact,
he just got
and he's around.
And set around and upside down.
Tough break for Steven Bixler.
Boys, Thursday's not 3 days from now. And they're already getting aggressive on the first night. Contact with the 2 of Annis.
Yeah, you know, Parker's going up as Steve is slowly coming down off the wall, but man, that's a tough racing incident there.
There it is, just the slight contact. You got to be frustrated, again, if you're Brandon. Opening up the gap, and guess what? Got to rack him, stack him again.
Yeah, you know, at this point, he wants probably the cautions to keep happening so he can get this thing down to a green-white checkered and try to get a good jump because P-Daddy, man, we saw him be aggressive on cars, entering real quick on the bottom, going into corners, and Dittmer does not want to get into an accident here. He really needs these points.
So now your final transfer driver in, Gentleman Jack Hitt, who's already used a quick repair. "31 viewers watching. Thanks for joining us. It's only the first night. We appreciate you all coming out here for night one of the Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals. Let us know who you're rooting for. in the chat. Appreciate everyone spending out the night with us. Also in real life racing, Super Dirt Car Series going on up in Quebec. And Mike Schultz also checking in. Thanks for watching, Schultz. It's been a while since we've seen him. Of course, one of my good friends at Land of Legends in Canandaigua. And speaking of Super Dirt Car Series, about to begin driver introductions in just a moment. Green flag back out. We're halfway home in the heat. Oh boy, Patrick and it's much better restarts. And here comes P Daddy with a slider for the race lead on the Spider Monkey. Dittmer tries to counter it back. Oh, he got sideways off for 4. Paget leads.
Yeah, and at this point, I think Brandon knows he's got to lick his wounds here. Just fall back up in line, make sure he protects second, and try to mount a comeback here and go take over the lead.
Clay Christopherson in the 51 now has the final transfer spot. See if he can pull away from Jack Hitt possibly. But Chad Griggs is starting to close in. Tries around the outside on Hitt. Gentleman Jack shut the door on him right in his face.
Yeah, speaking of catching up, Brandon Dittmer with a huge run in 1 and 2. He really closed the gap.
Griggs set it in deep. He's now stuck 3 wide. That's for the final transfer spot, by the way.
We're going to have a battle for the lead in 3 and 4. Look at the Spider Monkey.
Peeks under the lead. He comes at him like a Spider Monkey. Oh, he hits the wall, though, on 2 wheels. Spikes it. Sideways into pit road he goes. Denver has to go to the B main. And that was it. Holy cow, I didn't realize that was the end of it. Chad Griggs gets a gift from the racing gods and is in the show.
Yeah, Dittmer goes in there and ever so slightly catches that berm, and man, that's going to be the difference between a win and last place there.
Before we give you your Heat 4 lineup, we're going to show you what happened with Brandon. Just got to make sure this finishes up here.
We've only got 3 heats tonight, Marty. We're going into the B main.
Oh, wow, 3 heats. Oh, wow.
We're taking 12 here. Guys.
Let's get you a view here from the drone. Just got in way too deep, trying to hang on for dear life. And Chad Griggs says, thank you very much. And it's a photo finish at the line. Look how tight that was at the end. Margin at the end of that one was 0.03 of a second. So we now move into our B main. Here is the starting lineup. It's a 12-lap B main. Bob DeGood on pole position, the 7. Next to him, Josh Garlick in the 71. Row number 2, Gentleman Jack Hitt in the 217. Mark Gilbert next to him in the 17. Harold Klump inside row 3 in the 00. Next to him, the General Andy Patton in the 87. Row number 4, Steve Maurer in the 888. And Tayton Sander in the 700. Rounding out the top 10, Bill Calder in the 325 and Steven Stewart in the 29. Row 6, Barry Goldner in the 36. And the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in the 83. Row 7, B-Temp, Brandon Templeton in the 31 and Corey Denson in the 91. Row number 8, it is Steve Bixler in the 75. The Mayor next to Michael Junk in the 27. The final row does not call to grid. So we know 12 drivers. We are taking the top 12 into tonight's feature, I believe. And we know 2 drivers that will be partying at Dingus early, Bixler and Junk. Who will be the other 2?
Yeah, you got to go in here. You got to be patient these first couple laps. And I know that's not easy to do, but you've got a 25-lap feature coming up. You got to make sure you just stay in the top 8. There's not much of a difference here between 4th and 1st when you got 25 more laps to race.
This heat race brought to you by the Salty Dogs Race Team, official team of the Coast to Coast Racing League. Qualifying Night 1 brought to you by Malcolm's Mills Mill Writing. As always, we're racing under the Steve King Foundation as well as Angelique Bell and Henry Roger. Here we go for the last chance showdown. Top 12 make it on in. Green flag is out. Here we go. Focus on the 12th place driver at the end of the first lap as Gerlach to good. do battle for the race lead. And the 071's out in front. Oh, look out! And Sander just did his best impression of Roger Craig, who did his best impression of Dean Reynolds. If you know, you know. At the end of lap 1, Josh Gerlach out in front. Barry Goldner, Brandon Templeton battling for the final transfer spot. B-Temp goes through the 12th, Zach.
Yeah, but man, up in front of them in about 8th place, they are 3 and 4 wide. They don't care that they're already in the show. Steve Maurer around.
Oh, big crash from Maurer and along with Barry Goldner. Racing for the final transfer spot in. And another wild ride from Maurer.
Yeah, Maurer got loose on the cushion and got tagged from Brandon Templeton. Not much Templeton can do, and then wild ride for 3 guys.
It was a battle for 10th. Templeton already closed in, sent Maurer around along with the 36, and Bill Calder also caught a big piece of it. Man. In Call of Duty terms, that's what we call a triple kill. On board with Barry Goldner. Nowhere to go, committed to the bottom, and Maurer spun right in front of it. And how about the landing for Barry Goldner? Just at a flip, just caught air. It's a 10 out of 10 on the landing.
Russians gave it a 6, Marty.
Damn them. Bill Calder on board. And I'm just saying that because they gave us 6. See, there's another sport that they care about.
I understand.
It's just I don't think they know about gymnastics. I don't know.
Definitely, not gonna lie though, I am a little surprised to see like those. I mean, where we saw the wreck stem from, guys, and 6th through 10th battling as hard as they are. Like I say, this race doesn't pay here. The next one's what matters. You gotta just make sure you get yourself in the show.
All right. Coming back to the green flag, I believe we'll have 2 laps or 3 laps complete here. We'll have to see. Josh Gerlach, Bob DeGood, Jack Hitt, Mark Gilbert, Harold Klump. That's your top 5. Final driver in currently is in 12th. That's Tayton Sander. So we're set to come back to the green flag. Gerlach, the right to fire first.
Green, green, green.
And man, he just caught Bob DeGood sleeping like DeGood hit the snooze button on the hotel alarm. Brandon Dittmer catches the berm. He catches it meanwhile as they're 2x2 off the corner. Hit for the final spot, throws it in with a slide job, and Bob DeGood as he takes it away. Final driver in is Barry Goldner. Good lead on Bill Calder at the moment as thought for a moment we had a score in there. I think somebody was blinking out, but look at this smorgasbord entering turn 3, Zach.
Yeah, 2x2 is there. Oh, 3 wide in the back, almost making contact. It's the Sanders trying to grind his way up through the middle.
Oh, they're blanking
There he
around. Goes Sander. Loses the top wing. And I don't know how that car did not flip.
And, if we only get 1 quick repair tonight, he used his first quick repair under that last caution after that contact he had going on the backstretch. So, man, he may not make the show now.
So guess who that put into the show? Bill Calder. How about that? And there was a lot of neck code there. You saw Sander blinking in and out, and, that's none of Andy's fault one bit. That's just a lot of neck code.
No, that's not to put it on Tate either, but it's one of those deals where you're in the show. If you're having some connection issues, just hang out. Just make sure you make it, and being a little too aggressive there might cost him a shot at this feature tonight.
We're going to blame America Online for that. We're going to blame AOL. Our feature will be coming up in just a little bit. It's been a long night for us. We started broadcasting
Just before 7:30 here tonight. And we haven't even gotten to a feature. Normally we're in our Renegades feature by now.
Yep, someone relay the message through the driver radio. Let's settle down, boys. Still got 25 lap feature. And right now only 10 cars on the track if 12 if Tayton can't get back out. These are your 12, so you just got to race smart.
Yep. Tayton's still on pit road. He's trying everything. He knows he doesn't have a quick repair. He knows there's a spot on the line, and he's still blinking. He's trying to get that car repaired as much as possible. I wonder if optional is left, so get that baby on the track right now.
Yeah, I mean, with the way they're racing, you know, nothing against Bill Calder, but Bill's just been running at the back and minding his own business. If Tayton can get the car out and do the same, he might luck into one.
Here comes Gerlach as we're back to green. And more contact. Gilbert and Klump just before they cross the stripe. And they're 4 wide in turn 1. Steven Stewart trying to find a lane. That's got to be 4 for 1. I don't know, but I know Steven Stewart started 10th in this B main. Good, hard racing for third. Bob D. Good, Brandon Dittmer. Steven Stewart all part of this Hornets nest, Zach.
Yeah, my mind is just blown at how hard these guys are going at it. They're treating this like this is 5 to go in the feature here tonight. Is Brandon Templeton, he looks low. Or Dittmer, I mean.
Both of them split. Bob D. Good in the 7. We got trouble with Bill Calder. He hangs on to it. We stay green. Meanwhile, Josh Gerlach's like, boys, you keep on racing. I'll just run away with this.
Yeah, he's having a fun time out there. I mean, he just smooth sailing, but gonna have a lot of cars to pass in the feature tonight.
And Gerlach's the quickest driver on track, 17:36. Meanwhile, Brandon Templeton, even with the damage he had in the first caution flag, up 9 spots to 4th, just found his way past Brandon Dittmer in a big crash. Bob D. Good, Harold Klump. Luckily, everyone is in the show regardless, as of right now. Here is, and we got 2 laps to go. That's something to keep in mind as well. That was not a long green flag run you wanted if you are Tayton Sander, because I wonder if he's trying to get that car back out onto the racetrack. Because of that 5-lap run, I don't think he's going to have a lot of ground to make up to try and get into the show. So you saw DeGood and Gilbert get together.
Yeah, no, they're actually going to add a lap here to give us a green-white checkered, so hopefully you put enough gas in this thing to run 13 laps.
This is going to get
he's not
good.
going to have the time.
Two attempts here for coast-to-coast rolls. We'll just confirm that, and yep, that is the case.
Yeah, and, you know, Tayton did pull it back. Oh, he pulled it back out and got in the wall, so I don't think that car's handling correctly. He's going to pull back in the pits.
Yeah. Steering rod wasn't able to get repaired. It's not strong enough. So lights are off.
Yeah, if your motor's running right now and you're on the track, you're going to make the show. So just don't make any enemies. That's got to be your goal here.
Everyone is going to make it. Yeah, don't make any enemies. That's right. That's a good point. So Gerlach's led pretty much all the laps here in this B main. Green-white checkered, first of 2 attempts at overtime. And we're back underway.
Green, green, green.
Just got to keep it clean here in these final few laps. Templeton looking for more spots, though. Around the outside, actually Dittmer trying to challenge him, Zach.
Yeah, they thought about going 3 wide there for third.
Hang on, B-Temp.
And we've seen guys get in the wall like that and get loose and come down, but white flag in the air here, final time around, Marty.
Caught the wall pretty good as Josh Gerlach leads the field off of turn number 2. So every lap of the speed main, half-second advantage on Jack Hitt. Here they come off of turn number 4. Gerlach takes the win, the B main. Second, Jack Hitt. Third, Stuart Dittmer. Fourth, Templeton. Fifth, Gilbert. Sixth, Patton. 7th, Denson. 8th, Barry Goldner. 9th, DeGood. 10th, Klump. 11th, Calder. 12th, Sander, Maurer, Junk, and Bixler are headed to Dingus early. And so with that, we're going to step aside and take a break. Drivers warming up when we come back. First feature of the week. Stay with us, the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Sorry, second feature of the week. Someone will pull into victory lane here later tonight, about 25 laps from now. Warm-ups are complete. Patrick Spengler the quickest at a 17:106. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you coming out and spending your Monday night with us. Let's meet the field of 24, set to take the green for 25 laps. Here is your starting lineup. On the pole, the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano in the 32. Next to him, Brad Waite. He's in the 814. Row number 2, Ryan Padgett, P-Daddy. He's in car number 98 and the high side banger. Patrick Spengler next to him in the 39. Row number 3, Stephen Goldner in the 30 next to Patrick Annis in the number 2. Row 4, Shorty, John Short in the 51 and Sam Bachman in the 007. Rounding out the top 10 here tonight, Clay Christopherson in the 051 and Rick Main in the 187. Row 6, Jack Clevenger in the 78 and Chad Briggs in the 27. Row 7, Garlic, Josh Gerlach in the 071 and Gentleman Jack Hitt in the 217. Row 8, Steven Stewart in the 29 and the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in the 83.
Row number 9, B-Town, Brandon Templeton in the 31, and Mark Gilbert in the 017. Row 10, the General, Andy Patton in the 87, and Corey Denson in the 91. Row 11, Barry Goldner in the 36, and Bob DeGood in car number 7. Final row tonight, Harold Klump in the 00, and Bill Calder in the 325. Hearing that Klump is going to start from the pits, and Steven Goldner is having internet connection issues. Trying to get in as soon as possible because points mean everything tonight. Also depends on where you'll be, whether it be Hard Knocks Wednesday or in soup mode on Thursday. Brandon, your pick to win.
You know what?
yourself.
Give me Jonathan Short.
Yo, John Short. Alrighty, man. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
Zach?
The high side banger.
There you go, Spangler. Alrighty. My pick to win, I'm feeling Brad Waite tonight from the front row. So, we'll see what happens here as we get set to go racing. We're glad you could join us here. Night number 1 of the Knoxville Nationals. Let us know your pick to win. Steve King Foundation Pace Truck set to pull onto pit road right now. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Night 1 of the Knoxville Nationals. It's time to get it on. Brad Waite through with the early race lead. Patrick Spangler, though, trying to go to the point, but Brad Waite shuts the door. Murano fights back underneath to try and put the 32 out in front. Side by side, the first 2 rows off the corner as the Ant-Man leads lap number 1. Waite in second, battling the 98 car for the runner-up spot. That's Padgett. Patrick Spangler, though, hangs on the bottom step of the podium with John Short in fifth, though. 3 wide behind them for just a moment, Zach.
Yeah, that door finally opened up down low for Patrick Spangler, and he's able to hook it up. Both of them are going to drive by the Ant-Man, Anthony Murano, it looks like.
Brad Waite to the point. Spangler up to second. Had to back off for just a moment. Murano fights back. Trouble. Steven Stewart upside down. Now our first yellow flag is out. Rick Main, we're hearing, also involved. Steven revving on the throttle. Unfortunately, Steven, that would have been possible before the new damage model. Here's look what happened. They tried to go nearly 4 wide, and Rick Main, man, that's a heavy impact. Chad Griggs is also involved. Rick Main just got squeezed like a lemon. That's a heavy wreck.
And, you know, the night started out so promising for Rick, able to qualify P1, but, man, the traffic in front of him, it's just been too much for the 187.
Another look at it. Man, what a camera angle there. Of course, the Knoxville angles, yeah, not iRacing cameras. These are track cams by Istvan, and we appreciate him lending them over to us. So 2 laps complete here in this feature. It's Brad Waite out in front. A reminder, tomorrow night, the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and also here on Slide Job Racing Network, we have qualifying night number 2. We'll have our volunteer provisional race at 7:30. And the drivers you don't see tonight will be on tomorrow night. So don't miss out on that. So it's a double file restart as we come back to the green flag. We're going to watch this feature from one of our drones. Waite has the right to fire first off for turn number 4. Here we come back to the green. Murano, Spangler, Short battling for the second spot. And Spangler hangs on, using the grip from the high side as momentum. Here comes Padgett. He's got to run on John Short for 4th. Can he take it away? Short tries to show its nose on Murano as the 32 tries to crowd him. They're 3 wide for the bottom side of the podium here, Zach.
Yeah, it's early, man, but these boys ain't acting like it.
Oh,
Anthony,
Spangler and Wade touch. Battling for the lead. Spangler had to run around the outside, and Wade just corralled him. And the 814 hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, that 39's got a little bit of front end damage. Now the wing looks okay, but man, he's not going to be happy about that.
Padgett, meanwhile, caught some air in turn one as he just about biked it. Morano with a run. Short's got a run, and Spangler starting to lose a little speed. Morano sideways after contact. A lot of contact. 2 cars barrel rolling. That's the 2 of Annis, who just did the vault. Man, that was violent. And I thought Denson had the wildest flip of the night. I think that belonged to Annis. Look at this. Look at the air he caught out of that. On board with Anthony Morano. Got a handful there trying to hang on to that, and he got put on his lid as well. Front wing damage. Now, if you have motion sickness or nauseous, back away.
That's a tough break, but you know it's early on, and if you're in that 2 ride, Anthony can't see him behind him, and you know it's early on. You got a big run. You just got to kind of crack the throttle if you see the guy diamonding in front of you. It's try to go back and get him the next lap.
Well, Zach, I think it's safe to say there's flips. Then there's flips at Knoxville.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, we've seen some wild flips here tonight. Most of them from wheel-to-wheel contact, and I mean it's just been a crazy ride. These guys are. Hopefully they're going to have a car or 2 left here at the end of this week.
Absolutely. I know there's a doctor's office just down the road in the parking lot. I think it's near where Rib Shack and Pizza Hut are. That's where the haulers are normally parked throughout the week.
Here, if you're this 39, Marty, you remember what happened to you a couple laps ago. You're looking to get a good start, and man, you're going to try to mount a big charge here through 1 and 2 on the high side.
Believe this is going to be the final double file restart per coast-to-coast rules. Next restart would be single file. Right now, the Inferno Motorsports biggest mover, the hard charger, currently Brandon Dittmer, who started 16th. He restarts in the 6th position, the white and black number 83.
Not the start Patrick Spangler wanted. But look at that jump for P. Daddy.
Oh my goodness, Padgett up to second, but big run off a turn 2, the 2-touch once again. And Padgett hangs onto it, Wade catches the berm. Ryan Padgett trying to go 2 for 1 on this restart. Top shelf where Mama hides the cookies and takes the lead at the line on lap 9.
Yeah, Patrick Spangler, man, he's going to have a couple names on that list at the end of this one. He's seeing the red mist here. He's driving hard, sawing at that wheel.
He's going to write those names down like Nick Saban does when he tells his Crimson Tide players to come to the doghouse. As Padgett leads, Spangler moves up to second. Wade drops down to the 3rd. Other good battles. You've got Bachman and Short battling. And look at this. Dittmer and Templeton each up 10 spots, racing very hard. Dittmer around the outside, trying to get to John Short for 5th.
And, you know, Dittmer is running it all he can here, but with only 25-lap feature, you don't really have to save much tire. So if you find speed somewhere, go for it. Let him have it.
Here comes Spangler up on the bumper of P. Daddy for the race lead. Looks underneath, trouble for Chad Griggs. He has crashed, and the top 2 touch there sideways. Spangler, I believe, led at the line.
Yeah, Patrick Spangler, he's going to wonder what he did to these guys here. Is not getting any room, and man, he's having to work for this.
One driver slow, that's Chad Griggs, pulls it onto pit road. We stay green. And look at as well on that front bar of Spangler. There's some front end damage on that 39.
Yeah, you know, that's from when the 814 earlier had encroached him in the wall, and he's been driving a wounded car ever since, but he's still got a lot of speed. But P-Daddy out front, man, he's setting the pace right now.
Sam Bachman, John Short, battle for 4th on the racetrack as they're wing to wing. Short heading into turn number 1. That last lap, by the way, Spangler still cooking despite the damage. 17.73 that last lap as we go to the 5-lap average for the first time in this feature.
Shades of Blake Chapman through 3 and 4. We got a new leader at the line. What a run from Patrick Spangler on the bottom.
Even quicker lap, 17.64, as Paget tries to crisscross for the race lead. Does he throw it over the slider? Yes, he does. Spangler tried to crown him for just a moment. The high side banger may try to crisscross out for 4, and P. Daddy back out in front.
Yeah, so right there, we see right now with the way the track is, you can't give up the bottom in 3 and 4. There's not really enough grip up top to throw the counter. So Patrick's got to plan this next move here. As you see, blocked him on the bottom, but hit the berm, open the door. New leader coming out of 4.
Big run for Spangler as he takes it out in front to the point. Trouble, Sam Bachman, just the yellow that Patrick Spangler wanted. Jack Hitt also involved, and some ARCA brakes as well afterwards.
Yeah, Patrick Spangler just crossed the start-finish line before that caution came out, so good deal for the 39 new leader.
It's going to be a single file restart for the rest of this one, not only with it being our 3rd one, but also we've got under 10 laps to go. Brandon Dittmer got sideways. Sam Bachman had nowhere to go. Jack Hitt just got clipped there as well. And here comes Corey Denson.
And we talked about Dittmer being a hard charger. He's got to go get them all back here, but clean head here. You got almost 8 laps here to go get them, so you can pick off plenty of guys here and earn some points. Because Marty, we'd love it to go green flag here. Don't get me wrong, but man, I don't know if they're done yet.
I don't know if they're done yet either with the way this racing's been tonight. It's been pretty wild to say the least. Real quick before we go green, we should take a look at that pass for the race lead for Patrick Spangler once again. We're going to ride on board with them. You see it right there. Paget just caught the berm, and out in front went the 39.
Hopefully everybody already popped their popcorn here because show's about to get started, Marty.
Absolutely. 9 laps to go in qualifying night number 1. Can Spangler hang on and take the win and not have to use that provisional?
Green, green, green.
What a restart for the 39.
Best restart of the night he's had without question. John Short underneath the bottom step of the podium on Brad Wake. Can he take it off for 2? He cannot. Rick Mayne, how about the comeback he has made tonight? From all of these incidents he's been involved in, he is up to 5th in the high noon machine.
Yeah, he is definitely going to have to get checked out and make sure he has a clean bill of health after this one.
P. Daddy off the pace. Ryan Paget off the pace. I don't know if he clipped the wall or not.
Yeah, he got in the wall real hard. Oh, man, rode the berm coming out of 2. Almost went around. I don't know how he saved that.
Gonna have 5 laps to go this time by. Let's pull up a replay and show you what happened. Yeah, just motocrossed it. Man, what a save he made. We had nearly another incident as well in the background, as you see, as we come back to live mode, Brandon Dittmer sideways as well. And now it's Brad Wade and John Short battling for the runner-up spot on the track, and the yellow waves with 5 to go, and it's for Dittmer.
Yeah, he barrel rolled it. What a great, I mean, he looked like he was a skateboarder there on a half pipe.
He looked like that car was on ice skates. Wow.
I did that move in 2001 on Tony Hawk on my PlayStation.
how much he is hanging on to that baby.
And, you know, definitely we're not wishing any bad luck on anyone, but we haven't really talked about Stephen Goldner. He was able to rejoin back up, but he's a lap down. So all these guys having trouble. That's, you know, his position by position. And Stephen did okay in qualifying, did fairly well in his heat. So he's really hoping for some drivers to suffer some misfortune in front of him. Anxious to see, too. You know, we talked earlier. Brandon Templeton, he was up 10 spots. Only able to get that one more after Dittmer had the trouble in front of him. And you got to wonder, can Templeton move on up, or is he kind of where he should be? Is maybe he stalled out a little bit, got a lot of fast guys in front of him. Lights are off. Should be going green here out of 4.
4 laps to go. Can Patrick Spangler take the win in night 1 of qualifying, or can Brad Wade or John Short steal it? We're back to green. Rick Mayne again is cooking, wants 3rd. Top shelf once more, grinding it up to the P3 spot. Like he was a skateboarder. This time didn't have a wipeout. And now here comes Garlic, Josh Gerlach. He won the B main, and we're back to yellow. And it's for Mark Gilbert in the 17, upside down.
Turning into a war of attrition here.
Contact with Bachman. Right on board with the 17. So it's now a 3-lap shootout to determine who wins this. Rick Mayne had a chance to take away 3rd from John Short, which would have been 2 extra points. And those points he definitely needs. A tough heat race, tough B-main. Yes, he had some good points for during qualifying, but I think a really good feature he needs to make sure he is safe and in the show.
Yeah, you know, I think if he can lock in a top 3, he's definitely in the show. 4th, probably, but maybe more bubblish. But he's got to be careful here as he tries to climb his way up the ladder.
3 laps to go in night 1 of the night.
Green, green, green.
Spangler holds serve, keeps it around the outside. Wade still 2nd, Short 3rd. Mayne with a run once again. Side by side into turn number 3. Can the Infernal driver take it away off for 4? Oh, look out, one driver biked it. It's Clevenger. Hangs on, white flag. We're on the final. No, 2 laps to go, rather.
Yeah, 2 sticks in the air. Rick Mayne, he's going to get around John Short here. But he needs to make sure caution doesn't come out. He doesn't want to lose this spot again, but he's going to have one more time around here to see if he can get P2.
Dipper crashed. White flag is out. We did not get a caution flag. So we're going green to the end. Mayne may have a chance at 2nd, possibly. Big runoff at turn number 2. Wheel to turn number 3. Yo, you know who's going to win this heat race. The high side banger, 2022 Knoxville Nationals champ, Patrick Spangler takes the win. Oh, what a comeback for Rick Mayne. 2nd across the line over Brad Wade.
Contact with Brad Waite, 360 kept her rolling, P2 in style,
That's
Marty.
the best way to finish second, in my opinion. The Inferno Motorsports hard charger of the night goes to Brandon Templeton, the 31. But in victory fuel, victory lane, how about it for Patrick Spangler, folks? So get your top three here all pulled up.
You got to think with the runs these top two had here, we might see them both in that pole shuffle.
Absolutely, possibly. How about Andy Patton as well? Started 19th, finished 9th tonight. Bob D. Good as well, started 22nd, finished 11th, so that's up 11 spots. However, though, due to B-Temp finishing better, he gets the Inferno hard charger. Couple of drivers with some heartbreaks like Steven Goldner, Chad Griggs. I think that's the cushion cam. I don't know that we have in turn number 2. I can't even tell. They use this place up big time tonight. So we will have your top three all in just a moment. They all are coast-to-coast regulars, so there will be no... There it is. There's Al Kershaw. My goodness. Look how used up that is, Zach.
Yeah, there was not much left, and, you know, you got to wonder. We're almost going to go twice as long Thursday night, so you're going to have to pull out all the stops if you want to have a right rear left.
Absolutely. Let's go to our third-place finisher here tonight in Brad Waite. Brad, a great run for you. Stayed up in the front. How'd you feel about your car tonight?
Angry at the end. But no, it was, I really didn't expect the night to go the way it did. So, I mean, it felt good. A lot of help from my teammates. You know, it all makes everything go around a lot easier and a lot smoother, and thankful for all those guys.
What positives do you take away from this?
Be patient. I mean, there's always going to be opportunities, but you kind of have to let everything kind of play out, not be too aggressive at the start. I think I could have done a couple things differently, so we'll make some changes here and come back Thursday and hopefully be talking to you.
A great run for you. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
To thank everybody at Inferno Motorsports, M9 Performance, A&J Custom Creations, DNT Designs. I'd like to give a shout-out to you guys up here in the booth, Coast to Coast, Malcolm Millwrighting, the Westbrook Memorial, Steve King Foundation, Training Wheels Racing, everybody that puts this whole thing together and makes it a great show for the fans.
Well, great job tonight, and best of luck here throughout the rest of the week. Where you're looking like you're pretty good in. Hopefully, we see you on Thursday in the finals.
Me too. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely, Brad Waite, your third place finisher. To the runner-up finisher we go. Rick Main coming out of nowhere. Coming back tonight. Zach, you've caught up with him.
Yeah, Rick, getting the pole there, so that's a good 200 points, but we saw you struggled there in your heat race, and, man, you had to race your way up through the feature, but, dude, you're able to do it. You got to feel good. You got to feel like you're going to be in the pole shuffle on Wednesday night.
Buddy, you have no idea how stoked I am. Me and the boys ran about 300 practice laps after I got home from Eldora yesterday, and we put in the work. Brad ran great as well, so I think it paid off tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell you were there, and, realistically, couldn't really tell if you had anything for that 39. You didn't have any time up there to go at him, but, man, going into Wednesday night, do you feel like you got a shot to win that thing and start on the front row Thursday?
If I can start closer to the front, not get involved into some of that stuff early, like I think I was involved in something lap 3, and then basically had to start last. So if I can avoid some of that, start further up, I was involved in some stuff in my heat race that put me behind the 8 ball. So maybe.
Well, Rick, man, you're making a name for yourself around here. top dog in qualifying, middle step of the podium in the feature after, an up and down battle. I mean, congratulations, man. Who you want to thank?
First of all, I want to give a shout out to my dad. He's back home watching. Love you, Dad. I got to thank Dylan Westbrook Racing, Training Wheel, Malcolm Mills Racing. I got to shout out my man Donald with D&T Designs. He had me looking clean with my new wrap for this week. The Inferno guys, they got my back every week. We're doing a lot of practices here lately, and it's really paying off. And just all my guys, Brad, Dylan, Andy, all the guys that came to practice, man. I really appreciate them.
Well, congratulations, Rick, man. You're one of the mains of the hour tonight, and man, I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do in that pole shuffle on Wednesday night.
Thanks, man. We're gonna put on a show for you guys again, hopefully.
Rick Main finishes runner-up, and now we go to victory lane to talk with your winner. The high side banger, Patrick Spangler, gets it done. Patrick, that was not an easy race tonight, but a big win. Definitely helps you out towards the rest of the week.
I went out late for qualifying, and I was too busy trying to run the qualifying there and not get put any laps down, so I got lucky with that 10th there. Heat race, I was happy to survive. I don't know if it's the invert or what, or just the nationals, but usually it's pretty clean racing. And tonight, a lot of cautions, but we survived and had a good battle there at the end with Brad Waite, Ryan Padgett, Rick Main was coming on strong. It was a fun race.
A lot of contact here throughout the night, a lot of bumping and banging. Is this the sort of thing that we could possibly expect the rest of the week, especially with it being the biggest week of the year for Coast to Coast?
I see it could be just because people always go crazy when there's money on the line, but I sure hope not, because usually like the Renegade Rebels put on a good race, and we've had some pretty low caution races this season. I like to see a long green flag run. We didn't really get that tonight. But yeah, it was pretty crazy. You'd miss the bottom of 3 and 4, and you'd lose probably half a second. So I got lucky, had built up a little bit of advantage because I missed it coming to the white flag. But yeah, let's see what we can do with the 47 laps on Thursday.
Well, I think Mark Gilbert will be happy since it doesn't seem like you'll need that provisional anymore. But who do you want to give shout-outs to on this run once again?
Again, just you and the Booth Boys for always the awesome broadcast each week and everything you guys do for the league, trying to innovate and do new things with the broadcast. Roger for running the league, putting on the great events, and just being the backbone of Coast to Coast. All the volunteers and sponsors. Malcolm Millwriting for, I think he said he's been with they've been in sponsorship with the league for 24 seasons now since they started, so that's pretty huge. And Dylan Westbrook Racing, always supporting the league every season. Dad and Uncle back home watching, and just yeah, training wheels, guys.
All right, we'll let you go. Congratulations. You sweep the night tonight. Best of luck on Thursday.
Thank you.
So the high side banger, Patrick Spangler, takes the win here in night 1 of the Knoxville Nationals. A heck of a way to kick off the night here. A beautiful sunset that Dean Reynolds would love. I know he's watching a Super Dirt Car Series feature right now. Gentlemen, final thoughts
Knoxville
here on the
is
night.
just
Hang on,
another
let's get down
racetrack.
muted. Final thoughts here on the night. Zach, we'll start with you.
Well, we saw a lot of fireworks tonight, and not necessarily some good ones. So hopefully the guys got that out of their system, and tomorrow night for number 2, things go a little smoother, and maybe guys don't make as many enemies. But all in all, man, that feature, we got to see Rick Main storm through the field. He's going to be a guy you got to keep your eye on throughout the week, as he's the real deal, it seems like. But once again, the cream rises to the crop. The high side banger wins here night number 1.
Brandon, I know you had a good run going on, but unfortunately faded out at the end. But still, as we look at the picture overall, a great start to this week. I can't wait for how tomorrow lays down.
Yeah, hopefully we get a little cleaner tomorrow night and we see some longer green flag runs. I know if tonight showed anything of what to expect tomorrow night, is going to be a lot more hard battling and some great races for the top spot.
So with that, we are going to bid adieu here on the night. We can't wait to see you all tomorrow for night number 2 of qualifying, as well as our Volunteers Provisional. Patrick Spangler standing in victory lane on behalf of everyone at the Coast to Coast Racing League. All the fine drivers, admins, and sponsors and contributors to this week's Knoxville Nationals. Roger Craig and the fine group of admins. On behalf of my broadcast partners tonight, Brandon Dittmer and Zach Chapman, Marty Sakala saying so long, your winner tonight, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler. So long, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.